Number 2, management strength and depth. This has been mentioned a couple of times in the speakers just prior. What we're talking about here is, have you made yourself dispensable in your business? Okay? Can you leave your business for a day, a week, a month, a year, and the business still operate? It was referred to earlier. That's what makes a business more valuable when Scott was referring to the non-ownership folks that are here. Okay? Do you have the right people on the bus, and are they in the right seats on the bus? Okay? I've got a client, a long-term client of ours, manufacturing business. The owner is 67, hasn't worked more than 2 hours a week in the business for 5 years. He has this factor covered. Now, some of the other factors we're going to talk about still has a little work to do on, but this one he's got covered. Again, thinking about this in terms of what a prospective buyer is going to be looking at when valuing your business. Okay. There we go. Okay, culture. Now this is one that's directly out of the Aileron DOC model. Okay, one of the disciplines within the DOC model is culture, and a lot of people might think, what would a prospective buyer look at with respect to culture? Well, the famous quote by Mr. Drucker here, how would we define culture for this purpose? I think an easy way that I have witnessed buyers looking at a business is, how are things done around here? What leadership styles are prevalent? What type of management and supervisory styles are either encouraged or tolerated? You might also, I've had questions, well, how is a buyer really going to assess this? And I'll tell you what, most of us, as Ed mentioned, business owner, myself, most of us have a little bit of a blind spot in this area. And I can tell you that having poked my nose under the hood of thousands of businesses that we've been lucky enough to do work for over the years, I can tell you that walking into any one of your organizations, I think in about a half an hour, we could size up pretty quickly what the true culture is all about. And why are buyers interested in this? My personal experience is many more deals blow up after a closing of a sale over cultural issues than they ever blow up over financial issues. That's why this factor is incredibly important to buyers and why it's part of the Aileron model. There we go. Strategic relationships. Now, 3 types of relationships we're going to focus on here. Customers, suppliers and vendors, and employees. Okay, and looking at this, obviously those types of relationships have a number of many facets to them. For purposes of this discussion, a prospective buyer is going to be most interested in concentrations of those relationships, because more concentration, to David's point, increases risk. So think about, I think it's pretty obvious, we're all aware of concentrations in the customer area, where a large amount of your revenue is based in a limited number of customers. Okay, that creates risk for a buyer for the reasons that are obvious. A customer can go out of business. The procurement officer you've been dealing with takes another job, whatever the reason. Okay, same thing with vendors in your supply chain. Okay, employees may not be one that you think about all that much, but a prospective buyer is going to look at that. Again, another client story, a steel service center. I've been working with them for about a year, and we came to discover that one salesperson controlled 60% of the revenue of the organization. Very dangerous. That person got a job offer from a competitor, no non-compete, no non-solicitation agreement, no controls whatsoever. So you can imagine what happened from that point, and that's why buyers are interested in concentrations in these relationships.